Hello Simmers, I'm Demer, and today we are going to talk about what's happening on the EA company after the announcement of the major life simulation game Life by You. But first, I would like to ask you to subscribe my channel, leave a like, and comment what you think about this. First, I have this article that says that EA will lay off over 6% of its workforce. Tech companies have been led into a wave of mass layoffs, citing fears of a potential economic downturn. But what's really interesting is that EA, which had about 12,900 employees at the end of March last year, expects to incur between 170 million and 200 million in restocking related charges. As we focus more on the portfolio, we are moving away from projects that don't contribute to our strategy, viewing our real estate footprint and restructuring some of our teams, said EA Chief Executive Andrew Wilson. EA owns video games franchises as FIFA and The Sims will provide opportunities for employees to switch to other projects where that's not possible, pay additional severance and benefits, Wilson said. After the announcement, they are restructuring EA. They are moving employees that are from certain areas to other areas. They're changing the structure, and I have no doubt that maybe they are starting Project Renee from scratch again. And now to the second article I found on this forum. We have this profile Knope that talked about The Sims 5 development. This is all in Russian, so I translated. What he said was, so, she was in early versions of The Sims 2, right? Well, I don't know if it's worth posting here, but I think that's a very informative bullet point to everything in perspective. Side info from a developer inside EA Studio who decided to speak out because of the announcement of Life Value trailer. He talked about what happened to The Sims after The Sims 2013 failed. He said that EA wanted to make The Sims a mega multi-franchise. They planned a serious integration into the internet sphere, in the sphere of various platforms. SimCity 2013 was supposed to be the most successful transition to a new stage of The Sims development, but the developers themselves were very unsure of the success of the game due to the fact that EA constantly rejected their ideas and creative impulse and abandoned the ideas and concepts of Will Wright, the creator of The Sims, the creator that started everything. So everything we have from The Sims to this day is because of Will Wright, and they were rejecting the ideas of someone who understood what the fans wanted and what the live simulation market needed, considering him to be very outdated. Despite he and Rod Humble had great ideas and made great games such as The Sims 2, which was so complex that even to this day, The Sims 4 is not that complex, because it was his foundation and creativity of developers that made The Sims games so interesting. Someone who knows Rod Humble, which is the director of Life by You, was giving him information about what was going on, and he was very upset about it. He got in touch with Will Wright and they started talking about the new project, and that some of the staff who were good on terms with Rod and Will have gone there. That's all he knows about it. The Sims 3 and SimCity team were really unhappy, and they tried to prove EA that online Sims projects had no brought to success before. But former EA director John Riccitello, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, told them that the made mistakes were taken into account. Everything will be fine. The main thing is to do it as we say. At the time, EA began to cut salaries and working conditions became extremely stressful and difficult. EA is known for a company that implements in a lot of games multiplayer functions and microtransactions, and that was no different from this. EA wanted to apply a multiplayer mod for SimCity, but SimCity didn't need a multiplayer mod. It was already a very good and solid game, and when they tried to implement that mod, what happened? SimCity completely was destroyed and nobody remembers that game to this day, only the Sims fans. EA planned to make The Sims 3 a game service, and Olympus was supposed to be its online version as well as Sims Free Play. So what they wanted here was to make The Sims 3 the main game, where you have the main concepts of The Sims, and Olympus, which was the first version of The Sims 4, was supposed to be the online version of Sims 3, but obviously not as complex. Like we had The Sims 1 and The Sims Online. Sims 1 was the main game with all the features that were necessary in the life simulation game, and The Sims 1 Online was a more simple version of The Sims 1, but online. EA felt that in-game store and add-ons were financially successful and wanted to expand it on by creating new microtransactions, as I said before, the ability to play The Sims 3 Olympus, Free Play, and SimCity by taking Sims with players on trips and events back and forth. Sims 4 Cities and Ideas are concepts from the store and add-ons for Sims 3. The game was supposed to be very large, mobile, and crossover. Cities and add-ons for Sims 4, these are concepts of add-ons and store for Sims 3, which in Sims 4 are embodied in Haze. These concepts that you see in The Sims 4 were going to be on Sims 3, but because everything with the multiplayer went wrong, they tried to change The Sims Olympus to The Sims 4, which was a completely bad idea because the foundation of that game can't handle a life simulation game from the level of The Sims. The Sims 4 is a completely laggy game from the core because of this. Following the success of Sims 3 2013, a crossover add-on for Sims 3 was to be released that will mix all the platforms, but after the failure of SimCity, the developers were very depressed. Some quit, and almost immediately, the EA board of directors began a purge, due to which most of the people who work on the Sims franchise were fired. Maxis fell apart, and, as he says, unwearably employees were taken in their places. And the new developers, in a panic of very quickly, had to cut out all the online functions from Project Olympus, which was the first version of The Sims 4, and make another Sims numbered game. So they had this foundation for an online simple game because The Sims Olympus was only supposed to have young adults, be a closed world system, and the mechanics of the game was supposed to be very non-flesh out. At this time the project was taken over by the board of directors, who practically did not communicate with the team at all. The whole team was upset, angry, and depressed. During the remake of Olympus in The Sims 4, EA began to bring back old employees. Many of the staff who provide the creative ideas for The Sims and expansion packs refused to return, and the new team was a very poorly coordinated camp of old and new employees, quickly burned out and quit. He said that the old employees, including himself, were very angry at the new blood, because they were like happy, obedient puppies who did not ask questions and jumped on command. He believes that almost all of the old employees have been demoted because of this. The Sims 4 development process is now a monotonous chore, and EA has suffered earplugs and refuses to listen not only to developers but also to the players. They believe that the use of commercially successful brands is the key to success. No, that's not. The key to success is to hear your fans and hear the features that you want. Not this, like you collabed with Moschino, it was a complete disaster. You collabed with Mac, it was a complete disaster. Like, what more do we need to prove that you shouldn't collab with these brands? It calls the situation wildly and realistically surreal. Especially doesn't understand what's going on with Project Renee. Now it's the interesting part. EA again wants to introduce cross-platform again, and they want to create a MMO model of the game and transactions. They want multiplayer and cross-platform, such as they did with Olympus. Did it went right? No. But it doesn't mean that this one won't. It is confirmed that The Sims 5 will have a multiplayer and single player version. I want multiplayer too. I want to be able to play with my friends. A lot of players don't like it, but if you don't like it, just play the single player. I think it's a good option. Now the cross-platform thing, I don't think this is gonna bring anything revolutionary to the franchise, and I don't think it's necessary. But if you need to reduce the features from the main game to introduce a cross-platform feature, then I'm completely against it, because the main game should be complete. They have a team that scores the internet for trends, which is why the ideas of Paralives leaked to Project Renee. When the trailer of Life by You came out, the Sims development team got excited. He talked about with his friends, and they were all waiting for that, what will happen in the future. And they hope that Paradox will give EA a gut. But they are afraid that their work conditions will become much worse if EA sees a competitor in Life by You. As far as he knows, Paradox has closed their doors and are not letting anyone in who hasn't been previously picked up and connected to EA to avoid leaks. He and other staff who wanted to leave EA is a little hurt by this, but he understands that this is for the best. He does not want to give more information, saying that he has already said a lot. So, Life by You is completely closed, and I think it's a great idea, because when the game debuts, there are going to be a lot of revolutionary things that weren't trailers, and it's a very smart move. EA won't have the chance to copy it fast. They have to fully change the game. And if they fully change the game, probably will unlike Sims 4. This was the video. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, subscribe my channel and feel welcome to comment and see other videos of my channel. Have a nice weekend and goodbye.